Hey everyone, Skylinks here, bringing you another Transformers review, and today we're going to do movie Bumblebee, and we're going to do it in a two-part saga, so you, Camaro Concept Bumblebee, can disappear for a second. Anyways, this is Bumblebee. He shows up in the movie. He is designated as Sam Witwicky's protector. Let's see if that stays in there. Okay. Throughout the movie, he cannot speak. He communicates using the radio, which is kind of cute, but kind of annoying. He does speak at the end, so he is an excellent fighter. He's very different from his G1 counterpart in that sense, because in Generation 1, Bumblebee was kind of a teen bot, and he was not really much of a fighter. He was more of an infiltrator. Bumblebee here is more of a fighter. He battles throughout Mission City. He gets his legs blown off, and him and Michaela help take out Devastator / Brawl. Well, that's about all that happens. He gets captured by Sector 7. I'm sorry, I forgot that. And at the end, he speaks and he says he wants to stay with Sam. So there's the movie. Bumblebee's personalities, he's very protective. He's an excellent warrior, and he's very protective of Sam. And that's about all. You can't really get a grasp of his personality because he doesn't speak, and his mannerisms aren't that great enough to, depict anything other than what I just said. Okay, on to the Transformer itself, the figure itself. Here we go. This is the 1976 Chevy Camaro version of Bumblebee. And this car form is good and bad in many ways. Good in that it does look like a 1976 Camaro. Bad in that, one, these lines here that eventually separate when he transforms are fairly visible. On some figures, if you press the automorph button a lot, they don't go back together. Mine luckily does. Second of all is the damage. It looks like someone just paid this section and forgot to do the other section. So it looks like it gets cut off. But it is a good figure in its car mode, but it's not good enough to get a high score. I'm going to give it, they should put more detail in it. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. If more detail was put into it and more effort was put into the damage, I would give it a higher score, but right now, that's all I'm going to give it. Okay, on to the transformation itself. First thing that you can do is how about we separate the arms, and I just dropped it down. That's okay. I have it. The guns you can do a lot of stuff with. We'll go over that in a sec. But separate the arms and press this button right here. You have to press in, and the automorph happens. So this front section comes down, revealing Bumblebee. Bring the arms up, like so that the wheels are at an angle, and you can bend the arms to get them out of the way. Here, separate the legs. Oh, actually separate this first and bring this up and connect it right to the back. There we go. And you can angle these off, but you can do that after you transform them because they might get hit and knocked around later. Separate the legs, and then here's the other automorph gimmick on him. Usually figures have one automorph. He has two. Separate here. Bring the leg down, and it brings this section down too. And that's his second automorph gimmick. So, again, we take this, bring it up, bring the whole foot down, this whole section comes down. And we do that again so that you see it. His automorph gimmick is actually pretty cool compared to the other figures. Some figures don't even have good automorph gimmick, but his is nice. Anyways, let's just even everything up. I'm going to pause it right now, and I'm going to get his... Actually, let me show you his weapon first. I'm going to pause it and then put him into a pose so that you can get a view of him. So, here's his gun. It can connect together like this, and you can hold it in his hand. You can separate it, and it can be two guns he holds in his hand. Or you can put him on top of the wheel like this and have him at a shoulder cannon like they were in the movie. I don't do that because it slims down and it just doesn't look good. So, I'm going to pause the movie for a second and get him into a gnarly pose. Okay? One sec. Okay, now we're back. Here's Bumblebee fully transformed. Um, there's some good about this figure and there's some bad. A lot of people complain about the feet because they call them clown feet, saying that they're too big for what they are. The feet don't bother me that much. I do agree they are kind of big, but it doesn't bother me. The one thing that bothers me about this figure is, oh, now he's falling over. The one thing that bothers me about this figure is that they could have had more yellow in certain areas to separate the black, and they don't have that, so that's annoying. But the figure overall isn't bad. I think the one problem is that it's looked down upon since the Camaro concept came out, because the Camaro concept is a whole lot better, and this just doesn't look as good as he does. So, the missiles do fire if you push in on the yellow part right here, and it shoots out. The one thing I do like about this figure over the Camaro concept is the wings are more to the back than he is. Just show you posability. Get rid of his gun for a sec so I can show you. Ball joint, his shoulder moves, but it's limited to the wheel. The elbow moves. The knee moves, but because of his back section, it gets cammed up. And then his hip has movement. He doesn't move right here. His head moves around. It can look up. It can look down. So that is nice. And his feet, can't really do much with his feet because of this part right here hitting this part. So overall, let me just put this in his hand. The car mode, I give a 6 out of 10. It could have been better, but it's not too bad. It's manageable. The robot mode, I'll give a 7.5 out of 10. Overall, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. If you see it, pick it up. It's getting rarer to find, so it's definitely worth your buy. It's a nice little figure, and just because the Camaro concept's out doesn't really knock this down too much. But people see it as a knockdown because of the Camaro concept. So, anyways, this is Bumblebee. This is part 1 of the review. I'm going to be doing the Camaro concept next. Okay? As always, peace out for now.